Guys, this is Todd from New Life Bible Camp. Welcome to a new series called Naturosity. I'll bring the wonders of nature at camp home to you. I hope you'll learn a little bit about nature and a lot about being curious about the natural world around you. Many of us are at home passing the time with digital devices, but I encourage you to get outside to the front lawn or to the backyard or even to the clump of trees 2 doors down from you and dig around in the dirt a little bit, smell the air, listen to the birds, see the beauty of nature all around you. Naturosity will bring camp nature into your home. I'm no scientist and I'm no naturalist, but I'm the camp guy who loves the fun of finding cool things outside. Today, Naturosity brings you salamanders. Salamanders are amphibians. The word amphibians come from 2 words, amphi, which means dual, and bios, which means life. So it's a double life. They begin their lives in the water, in an aquatic environment, and they grow up to live on land. Some of them all the time, and some of them most of the time on land. Amphibians have thin skin, and they're covered in glands that keep them moist all the time. Amphibians also lay jelly-covered eggs in the water. They spend a short time as larvae and ultimately become an adult salamander. Other amphibians include frogs, toads, newts, and caecilians. Salamanders are really neat. Some have gills to breathe and some have lungs, and actually some of them have neither. They breathe through their skin. They range in size from about 1 inch to the smallest adult size to 6 feet long, as exemplified by the Japanese giant salamander, which can weigh up to 140 pounds. The habitat of the salamanders is basically near any body of water, predominantly ponds and streams. The food of the salamander is interesting. He's a carnivore, so he will eat meat instead of vegetables. So they enjoy slugs and worms, snails. Larger types of salamanders will actually eat fish, small crustaceans, and sometimes each other. Some salamanders will eat frogs, mice. Like many things in nature, salamanders eat things, but other things eat salamanders. So the predator of the salamanders include things like crayfish, bugs, snakes, birds, frogs, fish, skunks, raccoons, and even bass and sunfish, which we have in the pond here at camp. So salamanders are a fun item for kids at camp to catch. They're slimy, they're small, they're slow, and they've been a fan favorite of campers through the decades. So just like in our world, in the human world, we have a place that God has put us, and the salamander is very similar to that. They play a role in nature. They're small, they're insignificant, seemingly insignificant, and yet without them, many of the fish and animals in our pond would not have food. And so the health of the pond is dictated by the fact that they're there and they can live. And so their body, their skin is so thin, and they're susceptible to disease and toxins. So when you have a healthy pond, you have healthy salamanders. And when you have healthy salamanders, the other animals can feed and grow and survive and do well. And it's similar to our lives as human beings. Many of us are in different situations that God has put us in, and we seem like we're insignificant. And yet, we are very significant in God's economy, each one of us. And we have a purpose and a plan for each one of us. And eventually, the Lord will use us to accomplish His purposes. And that's the main goal of why we're here on earth, to accomplish His purposes. Thank you very much for listening to this series about salamanders on Naturosity, and look forward to the next series that'll come out hopefully in just 1 week.